gets disturbed. And eventually I was so much in doubt and confusion. Who am I? Inside I used to feel like a Sikh, but outside I used to look like someone different. And then that's what got to the point that I said I want to keep my case. And then Guru's kirpa, then Guru is wonderful. I think if you take one step to the Guru, and the Guru just takes care of everything else.
Definitely. I mean, I think it is about steps, isn't it? I mean, if you take one step towards Guruji, I think he comes so many steps towards you, 1,000 steps even. It's just amazing. I think we're going to leave it at that. We're going to take a break.
Yeah, I think we're going to take a break now. Just sort of recap the email address. So if you just tell the Sangha. So that's for any suggestions. I know it's our first show, so anything you think we could improve on. If you anything you suggest that we need to talk about after the break, share your story about discovering your roots. How were you inspired by Sikhi? What incident? What person?
Or even it's something if they're held back by.
Yeah. What's holding you back? Like the incident we just talk about that one that want to take on.
I mean, after the break, we're going to talk about how things we can do in order to help you achieve your own roots, find out your own roots are. So we'll leave it at that and take a break. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa.
Five Rivers Direct.
Welcome back to the Discover Sikhi show. In the first, I could say in the first part, we did talk about inspiration, about our roots, what our roots are, how do we get inspired. To talk about roots, I think we need to understand is where are we going wrong? Are we going right in some aspects? Are we going wrong in some ways? What is it? So, Manvir, what do you think? Where are we going wrong? Where are we going right, do you think?
Well, I think in terms of going wrong with roots, I think the youngsters or the youth, I think that people are confused with the Punjabi culture and the Sikh culture. I think that's a big confusion in terms of roots. I think if you look at that, and then if you go into how can we address that and how can we be inspired in discovering our Sikhi roots, because I think one example, we were talking in the car when we were coming here, was a few weeks ago I was doing a work experience in a primary school, and a young girl, apni Punjabi kudi si, and she goes, that can I help you out, sir, in the class. I was going to talk about Sikhi. It was just like a small introduction, about 10 minutes or so, like that. And she was like a sincere girl, like just a young girl, primary school kid. And I was talking about gays, saying that Sikh gays, that Sikh keep their hair unshorn. And I was saying to the kids that underneath my thigh, I've got like loads of hair, and that's tied up, and we comb it, we don't cut it. And the girl, very pyar de naal, she wanted to add to the conversation. She goes, oh, sir, can I add something? She wanted to talk to the whole class. And she goes, by the way, so I'll give her time and go, yeah, what would you like to add? She goes, just like to add that even though Sikhs are supposed to keep their hair, Sikh girls and women are allowed to cut their hair. And I was like, oh gosh, I was just like, it was like one of those moments saying, oh dear, what do I say now? It's been a weird
situation for you.
A very weird situation. But then you know, Sikh, you have to speak the truth. And so I said, you know, I know you mean well, but Sikh is someone who doesn't cut their hair. That's for men and women. But it wasn't her fault. So I she's only a little kid.
Just be innocent, really, isn't it?
Fine, what's galti to her? But she's been confused with culture and roots and what Sikhi, what's religion. Because Punjabi women, it's very, nowadays, you know, it's expected that Sikh women can cut their hair, they trim, I'm sorry, Punjabi women can cut their hair, don't quote me for that one. So Punjabi women think they can cut their hair, trim, and everybody does like eyebrows, this, that, the other, which is, you know, that's people's own personal decision. But then it gets mixed with the Sikhi culture. That was one example. And then the other example, during the same, I think it was the same day actually, a Pakistani child, very Biba Munda, very innocently asked me a question. Sir, can I ask you a question? Again, he must be about 10 years old or perhaps even 9 years old. And he goes, you said in the talk, which I did a small 20 minutes with the kids, that Sikhs cannot drink alcohol, they can't cut their hair, and they don't eat meat. Is that what you said? I'm like, okay, that's true. the Sikhs don't cut their hair, they don't drink alcohol, and they don't eat meat.
Yep.
Then just to end with this point, he goes, but sir, I've seen on TV, we can, you can flick on, on the television, we can see all these songs. He goes, I've seen on TV a man wearing a turban,
right.
his beard's cut, he's dancing with half-naked women. This is a little kid saying this to me. He's got a glassie in his hand. He didn't say obviously glassie, he said he's got alcohol in his hand. And I've seen Sikhs eating meat on telly as well. And he goes, so are they Sikhs and why? I'm confused. And I then had to give an example of if a Muslim eats sausages and he obviously drinking alcohol, obviously would you call him a Muslim? That he's not a Muslim. That he might call himself a Muslim, but a true Muslim is somebody who follows the religion.
Yep.
So that's just a few examples of how people are confused, let alone Sikh. Sikh are confused there, what our own, especially youngsters, like what is Sikhi and what is Punjabi culture.
Yep.
But even outsiders are confused, and that's why with Punjabi weddings, I'm sure with your DJ, with the DJ class.
I mean, I totally agree with you. I mean, Punjabi weddings, I mean, I've been to loads, family, cousins, friends even, a lot of friends' parties and stuff, and it's just amazing. Well, it amazes me now, thinking back I could ever be in such a room, to tell you the truth. Because the amount of like meat, I mean, I remember my friend telling me he kept his hair, so everyone thought he was more religious. I mean, I don't know what it is, but some people think that once you've kept your hair, you're wearing a turban, you automatically become a religious person straight away. I mean, people have that sort of thing, I guess, perception sort of thing, yeah, you could say. And he came and sat down at the table, and it was full of old people. They had wearing turbans, and they were having glass and alcohol, having loads of Bacardi shots and stuff in it. And he goes, you know, as soon as I sat down, all the drinks started going down the table, and he was thinking, why are they starting going down? Suddenly, the drinks were in front of him. As soon as he sat down, they started moving the drinks back to say that, oh, we're not drinking and stuff. And he thought, hang on, that's a bit weird. Why are they doing this? So, I mean, I think this is one of the main points. I mean, these Punjabi cultures, the way we go to weddings and stuff. But I think one of the main points that we need to focus on is also the language.
The language.
Definitely the language. I mean, speaking Punjabi, I'm not a fluent Punjabi speaker, but I can get away with saying stuff, and I mean, on that I can speak to other people. But it's in terms of people, youngsters as well, I think they feel, embarrassed to speak Punjabi. I mean, I don't know, what do you think about that?
Actually, even youngsters aside, obviously we say youngsters sometimes, we mean like non-Amritaris. I know Amritaris, I know a few people are very passionate about speaking Punjabi, UK-born Amritaris. Our friend like Pradeep Singh, Baji of Leverton Spa, he uses stresses in the Simran class as well, that kids should speak Punjabi. And it's rightly so, he does that, and it's very good that he's trying to inspire the kids to speak Punjabi. And I've noticed sometimes in camps that myself or other people, when you speak in Punjabi, some kids, they find it a bit funny. And almost they start laughing, thinking, oh, why are they speaking Punjabi? Or even heard people. And it's very sad that even, imagine if we're talking today, we're doing a bit of bachar together. It's a very informal show, by the way, so we're just doing informal bachar, talking about Sikhi, just openly. And sometimes we might start speaking a few Punjabi words here and there. Someone might perhaps email in or ring in, could you guys, just speak English, because I can't understand. Fair enough, it's a valid point. But the sad fact is that we can't understand sometimes. I remember once it was in Trafalgar Square.
Right.
And I think we should all pay attention to this story, that there was a kid wearing bana. He was dressed a blue kurta pajama, a blue damalla, like a tall turban, wearing Rosa Shastar. He hadn't taken a Amrit at that time, but he was wearing bana, kurpoon pai. So he looked like an Amritari. And I remember clearly, because I was at university at the time in London, and a Baba ji, chitti dari, kurta pajama pai, comes out, inni khushi, so happy to see Guru Sikhs. O kanda, Vaheguru ji ka khalsa, Vaheguru ji ki fateh.